Murder, She Baked, A Deadly Recipe was released in 2016. This is the third Murder, She Baked film. It's directed by Kristoffer Tabori. It's written by Teena and Kraig. Wenman, based on the novel Fudge Cupcake Murder by Joanne Fluke. And of course we have a cast including Alison Sweeney as Hannah and Mathison as Mike. And I'll say it's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. But had this been the first one I watched, I might not have been quite as enthusiastic about buying the series. That being said, it's okay. It's just not the most interesting. The sheriff has been murdered, and Hannah, of course, is determined to get to the bottom of who killed the sheriff, and it works well. We have some interesting suspects. The narrative itself is well written. The pacing is fine. Leads are brought into it at a pretty steady rate. There's not actually anything wrong with the mystery aspect. But that being said, I just didn't think it was an interesting story. So it's not badly done. I never cared. I never felt like I was that bothered about finding out the truth because it wasn't interesting. And the scenes surrounding it were a little bit dull as well, to be honest. We get to know some of Hannah's family a little bit more, and that's absolutely fine. It didn't really lean into the bakery aspect as much as the previous two films have done. And on the one hand, that's fair enough. Not every Murder, She Baked film is going to be as heavily involved in the bakery side as every other film. But for me, that was one of the selling points. So that didn't really work well in this film for me. So there just wasn't really anything about this that was particularly interesting. Nothing's badly done. The story is well constructed. The execution is fine. The pacing is fine. The mystery aspect is well handled. I just didn't think it was interesting. And the scenes surrounding it, not that interesting in terms of padding either. Some good character development. Absolutely, that's the case. And the performances are fine as well. The camera work's fine. The music's fine. Lighting's fine. No issues there at all. It's not bad. I just didn't think it was that great. So had this been the first one I'd seen, as I said, this one's not currently available to rent in the UK to stream. Only the first two are, which is why I had to buy the box set. And I was really pleased to do that because I was really happy to pay for it because I really enjoyed. I watched Plum Pudding Mystery first. I think that's what it's called, the second film. I then had to rent the first film because it doesn't work on my USB DVD for some reason. I can't confirm the third film on the box set does work, and I didn't mind it. I didn't hate watching it. I definitely was interested in the character development and the relationship between Hannah and Mike. That is definitely something that I enjoyed in this film, watching them interact, seeing what they might end up doing with this relationship. That part of it, I guess, was interesting. But again, had this been the first film I watched, that character development, the relationship development, obviously none of that would have meant anything to me because if I hadn't seen the previous films, I wouldn't really be picking up on the development. So, on its own, it's not a very good film. As a continuation of the series, it's okay. It has some things to offer, but that being said, it's still not great. But it hasn't put me in a bad mood. For the next film, I'm still really looking forward to watching it. I've seen a good handful of Hallmark's mystery series films at this point, and to be fair, most of the series do have at least 1 or 2 weak links, so it's not the end of the world. I'm not too concerned. I didn't love it, but that being said, it's fine. The mystery element works well. The character development, definitely very good, and all the technical aspects are fine as well. So, Murder, She Baked, A Deadly Recipe is so far my least favourite of the 3 that I've seen. I have 2 left to watch. I'm hopeful still. It hasn't affected my enthusiasm, but I definitely didn't enjoy it as much as the previous 2.